had a lot of anticipation leading up to my surgery, and a lot of it was because I had no idea what to expect, and I had no idea how to prepare myself for what it would be like coming out of surgery and the days to follow. So today I want to share with you 10 tips that will help you prepare for those days immediately following surgery and even a few after that. It is my absolute honor to be here to share my breast cancer experience with you, with the goal and intention of helping you navigate your experience just a little bit easier. Now let's get into it. Seeing a practitioner or specialist and pampering myself is one way that I truly experience and feel self-care and relaxation. Now you may say, how does this apply to my surgery? Well, in the days leading up to surgery, I found it extremely stressful and I had a lot of thoughts rolling through my mind. But when I took time out for that self-care to really focus on me and looking after my body in a different way, it helped me to relax and be in the present moment. The other thing to consider is in the weeks following your surgery, you will most likely be inhibited in what you will be able to do and moving about town, as well as even showering and doing those self-care kind of things. So if you were to take some time before your surgery, go and get your hair cut, perhaps get a color, have a facial, or maybe get your nails done or get a pedicure without the polish, because typically you can't have polish going into surgery. It just helps to make you feel a little bit better in those days when hygiene perhaps isn't as high as you would like it to be. Who doesn't love an excuse to look after yourself and get some self-care? Not that you need an excuse, but it is a good reason. When you're getting organized for what to wear after surgery, think loose, comfortable clothing. After surgery, I found that my arms were very inhibited. There wasn't a whole lot of range of motion, so putting on a shirt over the head was not an option. So the first recommendation I will give you is something that I got, which was really, really helpful, and that is a button-down, long sleeve, comfortable shirt. So it was winter when I had my surgery, so this was a good fit for me. So very comfortable. You could see it has the buttons and the fabric is really good. I got this in a couple of colors and I pretty much lived in it. If you're having surgery in the summer, I was thinking an option would be to get a really loose fitting spaghetti tank top. So something that you could step into as you would a dress and pull it up onto your body. And you could even have someone help you put the spaghetti straps on. So if you held your arms down, you could get someone to kind of put those straps up for you without having to put your arms over your head. As for bottoms, I pretty much recommend the same thing. Loose, comfortable clothing. So I ended up getting these stretchy pants. They are very lightweight, so I could just wear them in bed or around the house. The waistband is very stretchy and big, and something that was really good was also having the option to tie it. So once I got this big waistband up, I could tie it up and tighten it so that the pants wouldn't slide down. This was a really good feature for when I decided to put my drains into the pockets, because they did have a little bit of weight to them. Then it wouldn't pull the pants down on me. I spent one night in the hospital, and it's nice to have cozy socks. So if you're gonna get some cozy socks, if you like having cozy things, I would recommend getting some with the little grippies on the bottom, because most likely you will be coming out of a medicated state, but still staying in a medicated state. And I found that I was a little bit loopy. The last thing that you want is to step down off of your hospital bed and slip. And the other thing that I think would be really helpful is having a pair of shoes that you can easily slip into with your big socks on when you are ready to head home, Just bending down and putting on shoes that are too tight is just not comfortable. Depending on your surgery, showering may be off limits for as little as 1 to 2 days to perhaps 14 days. In my case, I wasn't able to have a shower for 10 days. And let me tell you, as the days went on, I began to get more clammy and more sticky. So there are a few items that I would recommend getting so that you can feel better, feel hygienic, and feel clean when you aren't able to have that shower that you so desperately want, because I know I did. A couple of items that I think would be really helpful are baby wipes to help cleanse the body and face wipes, those face makeup removing wipes to help cleanse the face. Just because it might be hard to get your arms up for your normal skincare routine. It might not, but I did found just having something really easy was nice. If you're going through treatment and you have hair, which I did not because I had my surgery after chemotherapy, but if you do, a couple of ideas to help keep you feeling good is getting a dry shampoo to help wick away the oil that will most likely build up on your hair and scalp and keep you feeling a little bit fresh. And the other idea is to get one of those really thick headbands to wear here in the area that over time you will be giving yourself an oil hair treatment. Leading up to, during, and after you come out of surgery, your loved ones are going to want to know how you're doing and how recovery is going. In my experience, the day of surgery was full of emotions and a complete blur. And then waking up and coming out of surgery was a lot of the same. So I would recommend delegating someone close to you to be that person that helps keep everybody informed and taking that pressure off of your shoulders. Of course, you don't want it to be overwhelming for that person who is also trying to support you. So I recommend coming up with a contact plan for your extended family and loved ones. An idea is to come up with a contact list and put it in your correspondence, phone or email, so that they can easily send out one message letting everybody know how you're doing and how things are going. It might also be a good idea to let those people know when you will be sending or when your correspondent will be sending that information, so they're not bombarded with a bunch of messages and getting overwhelmed while they're trying to manage their own emotions and look after you. The last appointment I had with my surgeon before I went into surgery was about 10 days prior to my surgery date. At that time, she recommended a number of post-surgical medications, supplements, and scar-reducing, recovering supplies. I could have waited until after surgery to suss those out. However, in the name of being prepared, I didn't, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I did not know that I wasn't going to be able to drive for 2 weeks. So if you are given any medications or things that you want to be prepared with after your surgery, I would highly recommend getting those organized before you go into surgery. So when you get home and all you feel like doing is recovering, you have everything you need right there for you. Home for me was about 5 hours away. And even though it was 2 days post-surgery, I remember feeling very uncomfortable and very protective with my chest area and where the surgery had been. So I have a couple recommendations for making a safe trip home. First, organize to have somebody drive you home. At that point in time, I was still on heavy medication, which is not safe to drive, and I didn't have full use of my arms, which also made it extra not safe to drive. So having somebody to make sure that you get home safe is my first recommendation. After that, If you happen to have a choice of vehicles for getting home, I would recommend one that is going to give you the smoothest ride, as well as one that is kind of mid-range in height, which seems kind of silly, but not having to get into a car that's really low or climb up into a car or truck that is really high is just a little bit more comfortable. Once again, if you just have one option, that's totally fine. This is a very small detail, but it's something that I noticed. The other thing that I noticed was that I was very cautious and very protective of having something on my chest. I was thankful that I had a friend that went through surgery before me, and she actually sent me a mastectomy pillow. I will put a picture of the pillow right here. Any pillows would work, but I do recommend bringing a few pillows for the car ride home if it's a long trek, so that you can have one here under the seatbelt restraint, just giving you that protective barrier between the seatbelt and your chest, as well as it was just really comfortable to have pillows along the side too, because the surgery and incisions sometimes do go around the armpit area, and it just helped to provide a little bit of protection. And while we're just keeping things off of our body, if you wanted to have one under the waist strap as well, so that you're basically protected by a pillow if you happen to have to slam on the brakes, or they accidentally hit a pothole, or they have to swerve. So when that happens to you, you are completely protected, and you don't feel that extra pressure on your incisions or your surgical site. One last recommendation that you might like is to bring a small blanket in case you had a long trip like I did. Taking a nap and being really cozy is nice for recovery. Food literally makes up the building blocks of your body. And after your body has been in a state of distress, it is going to want to repair itself, and food is going to help do that. After my surgery, I felt extremely lethargic and I didn't want to do a whole lot. And I was very surprised at how much I actually needed my arms to be able to do a bunch of things to make a meal. So I would recommend, before your surgery, going out and stocking your kitchen up with lean, healthy meats if you like to eat meat, complex carbs, fruits, and veggies, and have it all readily available for you. To take it a step further, I would even recommend pre-making a number of meals and putting them in the freezer so that you or somebody else can just get them out, heat them up, and they're good to go for you. Another thing you can do is have ready-made easy snacks like protein muffins, protein bars, cut up veggies, or have somebody drop something off for you. Quite often when you're going through a surgery or something big like you are, people reach out and say, let me know how I can help. Dropping off a meal for you or your family is a very easy way that somebody can help. So don't be shy to ask or let them know that they can. If they didn't want to help, they wouldn't have asked you. Prior to surgery, I would recommend putting some thought and preparation into figuring out what space or location is going to be the best for you to get some sleep after surgery. I really had no idea what to expect post-surgery. However, I did find that sleeping on an incline alleviated some of the pressure that was in my chest. So when we spent the night in the hotel, I took a couple of the hotel pillows, or somebody else did, and lifted up the mattress and put them under to create a little bit of an incline in the bed, and that was helpful. I actually did the same thing when I got it home. But I have heard a number of women say that they spent some time sleeping in their favorite lazy boy. For me, the first 10 days were the most uncomfortable. I was just out of surgery. I had those bandages on, which I found really itchy, and I had the drains coming out, which I was very cautious and protective of because I didn't want them pulled. So during that time, my husband was very generous and he opted to sleep in another location because I was really anxious of him rolling over when he was asleep and accidentally pulling on those drains or accidentally hitting my chest. And it's just not something that I wanted to have to worry about. Another thing that I would recommend is having pillows. Pillows is the secret ingredient. So I did line myself with a number of pillows as well as had them propped under the mattress to have a little bit of incline. If you have a wedge pillow, that would probably be helpful. Or if you have a big long body pillow, I think that you would find that comfortable. I'm not saying go out and buy them. I didn't have those tools, but if you have them, don't be afraid to pull them out. The last idea I have for preparing for a good sleep is to have a set of secondary fresh sheets ready to go. Not that yours are going to get extra dirty for any reason, but if you're spending a lot of time in bed, it's just nice to have a set of clean sheets. Even when I'm healing and need to rest, I find it quite challenging just to lay around all day. So having a few entertainment or low-key activities planned for yourself, I think would be really helpful. So a few things that I enjoyed were having audiobooks ready so that I could just lay and listen and be entertained. I enjoyed a few Netflix options, so I opted for a few old school classics. The ones I chose were 10 Things I Hate About You, Legally Blonde, and Bring It On. Another option is to invite a friend or a few friends or family members over for very short stints, just to have somebody to talk to and brighten up your day a little bit. And the other thing that I recommend and enjoy is spend some time thinking about what you're excited about next in life. What are you looking forward to? Because sometimes in these challenging times, it's very easy to get caught up in the present moment, but it's nice to remember there are exciting things on the horizon. Time recommended for healing is completely different for each surgery, each person, and each specialist. However, there is going to be a period of time from perhaps 1 week to 6 weeks where you are going to be a little bit modified in what you're able to do due to physical constraints and perhaps mental if you're on medication for a little bit. So I would recommend thinking ahead and planning out those daily tasks that need to get done that you will need to remove yourself from for a certain period of time. So a couple ideas are hiring out or asking a friend to help clean your house. If it's the winter, maybe you might need some help shoveling your driveway. If it's the summer, mowing the lawn. Perhaps you might want to order your groceries online ahead of time, but have someone pick them up for you and drop them off. If you have a dog that needs walking, organizing a dog walker or friend. If you have some follow-up appointments, organizing somebody to be able to drive you to those if you are not able to drive yourself. If you have some kids, you might want to ask somebody to pick them up and drop them off at school or take them to different activities or even just have them over at their house to give you a little bit of extra time to rest. Everyone's experience is going to be different, so maybe some of these support services would help you and maybe they wouldn't. I'm just suggesting that you take a look at your life and see where you think some support would be beneficial in the short term to take a little bit of pressure off your shoulders so that you can focus on healing and getting back to the life that you love. If you've been through this already or you're going through it right now and there is something that you think would be helpful for other people to know, please add that as well. The more information, the better. I found doing the best that I could to prepare for a certain situation that I was going to be in really helped give me back that sense of control in order to take that next step forward with confidence. So I hope these tips today help you feel a little bit more confident moving forward in your surgery journey. Thank you for being here with me today. If you'd like to join me again next time for more breast cancer inspired videos designed to help you, please hit subscribe. If you like this one today, hit the thumbs up. I wish you all the best moving forward, and we'll see you next time.